Coming up on today's spooktacular episode of Chatting Tracks. But the way that you're absolutely right, the way that track starts to get you moving and the way that the rhythm comes in slowly, it almost grows on you. It doesn't just grab you. It's not like Bad or something like that. It goes dun, dun. It's not an in your face rhythm where it just smashes you and then grabs you. It slowly builds itself in. And then by the end of it, like you say, you're just like, I can't not listen to this and move to this. It's impossible.
Yeah. I was so glad to have listened to this album and discovered this track, because it's, as a deep cut, it's just perfect. It's just it's a great song. You were saying about the bass line had been in his head for a long time. Apparently he came up with the bass line while he was driving. He was on a car ride and he narrowly avoided being hit because he was so engrossed in his bass line.
Yeah, again, the track is really sparse. When you think about it, you've got the drums, you've got the hoo-hoos, and then you've got the bass line. And that's really all you've got until the chorus, maybe, when he backs himself. And it's no different to Thriller, really, where it's so sparse. It's not like when we talk about the next track in a minute, it's completely different. But this is another really sparse song. And I think the power of Jackson is the sparseness and his voice. Hi, I'm Robbie. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. We really appreciate it. Today, we're going to go track by track, looking at Michael Jackson's Thriller album and asking, is this album still relevant in 2025? If you can give us a like and subscribe, you'll massively help out the channel. As you'll see, it's just me and my mates talk about music. Let us know in the comments if there's any albums, artists you think we should look at, because we'd love to know as well. Anyway, that's enough of my yakking. Let's get on with it.
Chatting Tracks. Let's talk music.
So today we're going to look at an album. It's been 37 non-consecutive weeks, number one on the Billboard Top 200 charts. It was certified platinum 30 times, the first record ever to do that, and it also won 8 Grammys. We're talking about the amazing Thriller album. What can we say about this album? I'm Robbie, this is Chatting Tracks, and joining me as ever is Andy Parker, my wonderful co-host and brother from another mother. How are you, Andy? How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Lovely to be here.
Mate, what can we say about this album? It's absolutely massive. I mean, we're going to dig into some of the tracks and we're going to go through it as well. But let's start right at the beginning. When did this album first come into your life? When did you first hear it? Have you got any memories of it?
Do you know what? I never heard the album at all. It wasn't an album that I owned. I loved Michael Jackson growing up. I thought it was fantastic. But this album I never owned, and I never felt that I needed to, because it was so full of hits and singles that I just didn't feel like I needed to own this album. It was I had all the music that I needed from it. Yeah. And just to have the album, it never really happened for me. In fact, I think even to this day, I don't own a copy of this album. So yeah, for all those millions of copies that it sold, I never bought one, which is quite unusual, really, I would suggest. But yeah, 1982, end of the year, Michael Jackson drops what arguably is the greatest pop album ever recorded. It's brilliant, and I really look forward to talking about it.
I came into it from the Thriller video. That was my intro into this time. Because I think around this time, how old am I? I'm like 8 or 7 or something like that. And I knew this Thriller video, and we'll talk about it later. But right at the end, when he had the eyes, I was terrified for years of that. I couldn't actually I couldn't watch the end of the video. It was one of those things where I had to switch that off before it got to that point. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you like me, Rob? Because I think it was Channel 4. In the early days of Channel 4, they used to put the videos on as an exclusive. Yeah. And it was on late at night. I think it was on about 10 o'clock at night. And I begged my mum to let me stay up and watch it. And she did. And I watched it, and it scared the bejesus out of me. And, you know, but what a fantastic video. Yeah. And this was something that continued to happen with Jackson. His videos, they were groundbreaking. Every time he released a new video, it was a must-see. And if you could, you would sit up all night waiting for it to drop. You know, whether it be on MTV or Channel 4 or whatever channel it happened to be, have the exclusive on it. And I'm sure he made an absolute fortune out of selling the exclusivity to these videos.
I watched the video through. We used to live in a masonette, me and my mum, and you used to come down the stairs, and the living room door was like here, and then there was a square bit of glass. Like you used to have this weird style, and I watched most of 80s television through that piece of glass because my mum would
Right.
put me to bed. I sneak back down and watch it through the glass. That's where I discovered the young ones, and I used to watch all these programs through the glass. So no wonder I did terrible in school. I was always sleepy because I was watching telly all night. But that's where I first watched the Thriller video. I remember watching it through there, and I remember then running up the stairs really quick because I was terrified by it. And my mum was like, "What? Are you awake?" No, I'm not awake. Honest. Yeah, obviously directed by John Landis. Who did American Wealth in London. That's where he got the influence. Anyway, we're going to talk about that one in a little bit, but let's go through some of the tracks on this album. Want to be starting something. Fantastic track. Start opening the album. Apparently, it's written around 1978. It was an older track. It didn't appear on Off the Wall, obviously, as well. And it's one of those songs where, when I think of the "Want to Be Starting Something" song, I always think, is that a good opener? It's a bit. I'm not sure. And then when you play it and it does that build. Well, especially when the guitar playing comes in, that and I'm like, no, this is absolutely the right choice to start this album. What do you think of the track?
Well, I defy anybody to sit still when that song starts playing, because it is. You know that I said to you the other day that I was struggling to listen to this one, because of the Bad album, because of the difficulty I had with the Bad album. I was really scared to listen to this because there's so many good memories tied up in the songs off this that I didn't want to tarnish that, if you like. And so I was really nervous about listening to this. And within 10 seconds of "You Want to Be Starting Something," my head was going. I was driving along in the car and my head's going, and my shoulders start to go. And I was really loving it, and it was everything that I remembered it to be. It's just a perfect dance track.
Yeah.
It's absolutely wonderful. It's about paranoia and gossip and all the chaos that surrounds fame. But yeah, I mean, there's some really questionable lyrics in there as well. When he goes on about the "you're a vegetable" and all that sort of stuff. Now, the interpretation has officially been that it's people draining other people emotionally,
right?
And all that. But I don't understand how that ties in. How a vegetable drains other people emotionally and that sort of thing. I'm not sure. So, from a lyrical point of view, I'm not entirely sold on it.
Right.
But from a musical point of view, for how it makes you feel, I love it.
I mean, let's not forget, obviously Quincy Jones is producing this. So
sure.
Michael said, "I don't want any B-sides on this album." And I think to a degree he's right about it. And he also said, if you want to get good, you work with the best. And Quincy's on here, and we've got lots of other artists that we'll talk about as we go along. Obviously complementing the songs, the writing and the production. It's a fantastic track. I just like how random it is as well. Like, you've got the Mama Say, Mama Sa part is in it as well. Yeah. It comes from Soul Musaka, I hope I said that right, by Manu Dibanjo. I think I said that right. Hopefully, let me know in the comments if it's wrong. So yeah, you got other influences coming as well, and I like the fact
he got sued, didn't he, for that as well?
I think he did, yeah. And I like the fact that you got the yeehaw. He's sort of just, why not? But the way that you're absolutely right, the way that track starts to get you moving, and the way that the rhythm comes in slowly, it almost grows on you. It doesn't just grab you. It doesn't. It's not like Bad or something like that. Where it goes dun dun. It's not an in your face rhythm where it just smashes you and then grabs you. It slowly builds itself in, and then by the end of it, like you say, you're just like, I can't not listen to this and move to this. It's impossible. Yeah. And there's so many beautiful elements in it. Like the guitar work on it, I think is just amazing, because it's not overdriven guitar. It's subtle guitar, and it is funk pop disco is what it is. And it, the way they're using that really constructively, and there's nothing wrong with Chic, but it's not like a Chic guitar where it's the focus of the funk. This is an accompanying guitar, and I think that's why it's so strong. Yeah.
And culturally as well, it introduced African rhythmic influences, didn't it, into the Western music? Because there wasn't a great deal before this.
No.
And that then really does start to break boundaries. And he's doing that at the opening of the album. So he's opening the door to something completely different culturally than we're used to in the Western world, And it's particularly with the Mama Say, Mama Sa and all that bit, it starts to bring that African vibe into Western living rooms. And it's really great. And it's, I'm all for diversity, and I'm all for inclusion and everything. And I just feel that there's so much to be offered through music from different cultures, whether it be from the hip hop genre all the way through to rock to everybody. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is or what your religion is. Music can give you a view on life, and to have that door open for you by somebody is really, really a wonderful gift that someone can give you. And Michael Jackson gives the gift of African rhythm and all that sort of stuff in this particular song and throughout the rest of this album. Really, it's great. I love it. Brilliant song.
Yeah, great brilliant. It's a great opener. Yeah, like I was saying, when I think about the song, I'm like, really, that one? I'm not sure. Then I played the song. I'm like, no, that's absolutely the right choice. It's just there's no way around how good that song is. It's amazing. Yeah, fantastic. Okay, Baby Be Mine, the second track on this album. Yet again, some of these songs, like you said earlier, you know the hits and you know them really well, and then the tracks that weren't released on the album, I've not played the album in a long time. I've got to be honest with you. And then when I did play it recently, because I knew we were going to talk about this, and I just wanted to listen to it just for pleasure, I forgot some of the songs that weren't released, how great they are. And like you said, he didn't want any B-sides. And he enlisted Rod Templeton, who's a fantastic songwriter from Yorkshire, I think he was. Originally, he was in the band Heatwave, and he wrote some amazing songs. I'll just give you a couple here. We've got Boogie Nights, Always and Forever, and that absolutely fantastic ballad. He wrote Rock With You for Jackson on the Off The Wall. He wrote the Off The Wall song. He wrote Stomp for the Brothers Johnson. Everybody take it. Brilliant. He wrote Give Me the Night for George Benson, like Love Times Love for George Benson. I mean, these are absolute razzmatazz for the Quincy Jones album, The Dude, which is a brilliant album as well from 1981. Baby Come To Me, Patty Austin and James Ingram. James Ingram appears on this album a bit later as well. Obviously, he wrote Thriller, Baby Be Mine. Yamo Be There for Michael McDonald. Sweet Freedom. It's just an amazing, amazing songwriter. Unfortunately, he's not around anymore. He passed away a little while ago, but he's just this secret weapon, and Michael Jackson referred to him as his secret weapon, and so right. So, and again, it's one of those songs where I put it on and I was surprised about how much I liked it. It has its elements. It sounds very 80s to a degree, but I really like it as a single. What do you think of this one?
So, as I said, this album isn't an album that I'd ever heard as work.
Yeah.
And so the first time I heard this was very, very recently. And this is the reason you have to buy this album for this song, because this is a great song. This is an absolutely fantastic song. And it was one of those ones, like I listen to albums, and I think more so now that we are doing this, talking about them in a way where I'm trying to find the meaning behind them and I'm trying to dig into them. And sometimes you just have to put that to one side and go, do you know what? This is just music. Just enjoy it for what it is. And Michael Jackson's Thriller has to be enjoyed for what it is. It's a pop masterpiece. And this particular song on this album, which wasn't released as a single anywhere, is just fantastic. Like soft R&B going on in there. It's got the warmth.
Disco. Yeah.
So for me as well, this was my favorite vocal performance on this album from Michael Jackson.
Wow.
Because it sounds like he's really pushing right at the edge of his capabilities. Maybe he's trying to go back to his younger voice, you know, and he's trying to travel back in time and do it like young Michael with the Jackson 5 and sing it with that tone and that in that key. And I think maybe as he's progressed, it's a little bit more difficult for him. And he sounds really human in this song, you know. And I don't mean that Michael Jackson's weird and all that malarkey.
Yeah.
I mean you can hear in the production the cracks in his voice, the rasps in his voice. And I'm used to listening to Michael Jackson really clean, really well produced, and no errors at all. Michael Jackson to me is a perfectionist. He's vocally he's just so good.
Yeah.
But this, you can hear the little bits of the nuances in there when he's singing, that he's just at that point where he's just about to fall over the edge, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
He manages to hold on to it. And so for me, that because he does that and because he shows that vulnerability in this song, it makes this song even better because it is a vulnerable song. It's a love song. It's romantic. It's sincerity. It's devotion. And he's almost giving you that through his vocal as well. The way he's singing it is it lets you right in.
Yeah.
To how he's feeling, and it's beautiful. It really is. And I was so glad to have listened to this album and discovered this track, because it's, as a deep cut, it's just perfect. It's just it's a great song. It really is. And in the middle of everything else that's going on this album, the energy and everything else, this slips in there and grounds you as well. Yeah, I love it. I can't speak highly enough of this song. And if you haven't heard it, and I'm sure because of the amount of albums that Thriller sold, most people have heard this song. I'm probably in the minority not knowing it. But if you haven't heard it, or you haven't heard it for a long time, go and have a listen, because it really is a special track.
I mean, he was very good at deep cuts. Like Ghosts was a fantastic deep cut as well. And that was Stranger in Moscow off the History album is one of my favourite tracks of his as well. Yeah. Say You'll Be There, that's one of my favourites. And they're not singles. None of those are singles, but they're just, you're right, there needs to be a Jackson deep cut album, because there's a whole world of stuff out there that people just haven't heard probably. But like you said about the vocals, he used to use a voiceover microphone as a vocal mic, which was really interesting. And Bruce Sweden, I think it was the producer, said because it brings out the intimacy in his voice.
Right.
And you're like, that I get that now. When you hear it, when you hear the sort of, my mate Matt said when Michael Jackson was singing, he used to do that, all that sort of stuff, which I don't think you would have heard with a normal vocal microphone. I think that's why you get a lot of that vamping on the voiceover mic. But he said he had so much energy for the song that he couldn't keep it in. And I think that's a brilliant way of looking at it. Like, he had to go, because he was like, I need to sing, I need to, you know. And like he said, if he didn't make him dance in the studio, it wasn't working. So you've got him trying to dance, and then he wants to sing, and you've got this explosion of energy. I think that's what makes these albums by Jackson really special, is that you've got this absolute burst of one man's creativity and energy, and he's fighting to keep it in, not let it out. You know what I mean? It's the opposite way around. He's trying to keep it in rather than keep singing over everything every 20 seconds. I think it's wonderful. But you're right. Yeah, it's a fantastic deep cut track. It really is a really great deep cut, that one. And again, like we were saying, it's just not heard the album in a while, put it on. I was like, actually, that song's brilliant. And there's no real B-sides on this at all. It's fantastic. Okay, we're up to the first duo on the album, and the only one really. The Girl Is Mine, Michael Jackson and Paul McCartney. It was recorded in between the 14th and the 16th of April 1982. And it features a lot of the band Toto on it. You've got Jeff Porcaro, David Patch on it, Steve Lukather, that did the live parts, because I think they're recording Toto 4 at the same time. So they're all basically mucking in together. Now, when you've got Toto as your backing band, you are not going to go wrong, because they were the best of the best.
Yeah,
they were the studio musicians at the time. They were just on every. Steve Lukather, I read the other day, has played on around 6,000 tracks in his recording career, and he's still going. He's a fantastic guitar player, really funny. If you ever see him interviewed, he's got some amazing stories about Michael, and just recording is brilliant. Let's not forget Paul McCartney at this point. You know, I'm a Beatles fan, and he knows that. So Macca's he's got his t-shirt. Macca's just had No More Lonely Nights has been out, and he's had the solo McCartney 2 album. He's had the Christmas song come out. So Macca's in a really good writing place as well. So they're both at the top of their game. I think their voices are both super strong around this time as well. They're both, what would they be in their mid 40s, I suppose. I think Macca's in his 40s at this point.
Jackson's 24 when he's doing this.
Is he? So Macca's probably in his 40s. But really, really, they're vocally both really, really super strong. I want to get your thoughts on it before I talk about it. What do you think, Andy?
Okay, so this song is an earworm. It's one that once you hear it, you're going to be singing it for a few days, because it's going to get stuck in your head and jangle around in there like a lunatic. It's two men competing for the same woman. It's got a bit of whimsy about it. It's conversational. You got the speaking part as well, a little bit of soft rock in there. I think when they were recording this as well, McCartney told Jackson about purchasing the catalogues of other artists, didn't he? And which really did come back and bite McCartney. But I'm not a huge fan of this song. I'm not. I think musically it's great. It's got two of arguably my favourite artists performing on it. And like you say, they're both at a really good point in their career. They're both in a really strong place. The performance is really good. I just wish it was a better song. You know, I do. Do you know what I mean? I wish there was more substance to it.
Yeah.
You know, because you've got to. I don't know whether Jackson's come into his humanitarian phase at this point or not. Whether he's still sort of doing his bit, or whether he's actually started to think about the Earth and the planet and what's going on and all that sort of stuff. And McCartney, having written with Lennon and by himself, has written some of the greatest songs ever made. And so you've got these two giants in the industry working together, and you really got some expectation there, you know, like if there was, and this to me is a little bit throwaway,
right?
You know, it's sort of, it's okay, it's a good song, and it did well. It charted at number 8 here and number 2 in America, but was that because of who was singing it rather than the song? Because when you get right down to it, why is a 40-year-old geezer arguing with a 24-year-old man about a bird? You know, it's like me having an argument with my boy about his girlfriend.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I don't really get it. I don't really understand, because, I mean, if you take the artist out of the equation and look at it as just a pure song, it's all right. Yeah. It's all right. But then when you factor in the fact that there's 20 years difference between the two of them, and they're both who they are, this should have been something else. It should have been something else.
See, I really like it because of what it is. I like the fact that it's quite plain and, dare I say, plain but simple as well. I love the talking part. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I love all that stuff. But I like that in Look of Love by ABC when they talking. I love it when artists talking a track. It's just one of those things that makes me like the song even more. And I don't know. I know what you mean about the age difference thing, but if you'd never heard that, would it have bothered you? This is the point, isn't it? Now you know about it.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, as a song, it's okay. But then when you know the artists and all that sort of stuff, and then you start to think, well, this geezer was, Paul McCartney was massive in the 60s.
Yeah.
And Michael Jackson was barely a baby at the time. And you've got a guy performing at the top of his game back then. You know, he's in his late teens, early 20s, McCartney in the mid to late 60s. Yeah. And you've got the boy Jackson, who's, you know, although he was, I can't remember when he first really, it was probably the early 70s, wasn't it, that the Jackson 5 really started to come out. So, well, and he was about...
Well, he did a solo album in 72, so really they ran from 68, I think it was.
Right, okay, so he was about 8 years old when they did that, wasn't he?
Yeah.
So it was, so he's only a baby while Macca's doing at the height of his powers, in my opinion. But, you know, so I find it difficult. I find it difficult to get my head around that.
Okay, on a side note then, let's talk about the other single they did, Say, 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 which is on the Pipes of Peace album from Macca.
Yep.
You know, that song, what do you think of that song? Well, let's talk, because I think they must have been done around the same time. So what do you think about that one?
I mean, they must have been done around the same sort of time. I've not listened to that recently, so I can't really give you an honest opinion on that one. You know, I'd need to visit that song. Well, on
The Girl Is Mine, it's an equal split. Basically, they're talking to each other and duetting vocally. On Say, 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 really, it's a Macca-driven song with Michael providing the chorus, which then got sampled in a house track many years later. So that's not a balance of a song, really. I think this song, The Girl Is Mine, is a balanced track between the two of them. And, you know, you got Toto playing on it, so it just sounds slick and as smooth as you can imagine. You know, it's like a pane of glass, that backing track. Yeah, and even if you took the vocals off and listened to it just as a backing track, I bet it still sounds absolutely amazing. Would you have kept it on the album, or would you took it off?
Oh, 100%. 100% it stays on the album, because it's, like I say, it's an earworm. You can't hear it and forget it.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be rattling around in your head for days. I mean, it's been, I've been singing it for days now because, you know, It is a catchy track.
Yeah.
I just wish, because of who they are, that it had more substance.
Okay.
All right. I don't think it's bad in any way, shape, or form. I really don't think it's a bad song. Yeah. I just would like to have seen two artists of the caliber that they are produce something that would blow the world away.
Yeah.
Because they're capable. The two of them together should be capable of redefining music.
Yeah.
You know, and they didn't.
Okay. So it's not bad. It's just off the wall. Huh?
Yeah. Underwhelming.
I think it's great. That's just me. Okay. We're up to the title track. Written by Rod Templeton again. Originally called Starlight. And what we'll do in the comments, we're going to put the Spotify version of the 40th anniversary of this album, so you can hear the original demo version of what became Thriller later on. And it's the same song and completely different all at the same time. It's crazy. It's just a crazy listen. Vincent Price obviously appears on this track. Does a brilliant job, and he also appeared on Alice Cooper's Welcome to My Nightmare album on Black Widow. That album's a fantastic album as well. We're going to talk about that at some point. And then I think he was on Number of the Beast by Iron Maiden, unless that was a voiceover, someone impersonating. But yeah, I think he was on that as well. What can you say about Thriller other than what a brave and unusual choice to make as well for a single? Because it's just, if you said to me in 1980, whatever it was, Jackson's going to write a Halloween-based song, you go, what? what for?
Why?
Yeah, why? Why you do? Oh, thumbs up myself. You're like, why? What? You know, why? What for? Why would you do that? What's the point? That's not going to sell. And then obviously he makes the video, which is incredible, absolutely incredible. And then the song, yet again, it sort of builds itself in again with it. All this walking, and it sounds like a horror movie because Jackson was a horror movie fan. I understand, a bit like me. I love all that stuff. What do you think of it, Ant? What do you think of the song?
So, if we transfer ourselves back to 1984, in Britain, Halloween wasn't a thing over here. We, it was maybe you used to do a little bit of trick or treating, but it wasn't what the Americans would consider Halloween. It wasn't all this, everybody decorates their house, there's people all over the place going trick or treating. You may have a few kids knocking on people's doors asking for some chocolate or what have you, but it was more about bonfire night over here, Guy Fawkes Day, back in the 80s. Penny for the guy, all that malarkey, and the burning down of Parliament that didn't happen. So I think Michael Jackson sort of nudged the door open for Britain to get on board Halloween. Really, he kind of, as a Halloween song, he sort of like nudged it open, and then in come Halloween to Britain. This again, it only made number 10 in the UK charts, and I'm quite shocked. I don't know for sure when his first number one in Britain was. I think it probably was on this album though. Like not as a solo artist, not as obviously as the Jackson 5, they had number ones over here and all that malarkey. But some of his biggest songs didn't make number one, and this is an iconic track, and it only made number 10 in the UK and number 4 in the US. But yeah, that's cinematic horror. The video, as we spoke before, about it being a something that you wanted to stay up and watch. It's iconic, really. Vincent Price was only paid $900 for his role in this song. He should have asked for royalties. Really. Yeah. But yeah, the Thriller video redefined music videos, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was so far advanced. I don't believe that anybody before this had a film director making their videos as well, and Jackson comes in and he's like, well, I want the very best, and the very best horror film around at the time was American Werewolf in London for its effects and all that sort of stuff. I was scarred by that movie, I tell you. Yeah, it is a great movie, but I was scarred as a kid by that one, purely for the transformation from human to wolf. Yeah, the stretching of the limbs and all that malarkey, and it really did traumatize me for a very long time. I used to have nightmares over it. And but the visual effects from that movie transferred into this video, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, they used some of those effects, and the level that he was working at made it look so far advanced to what everything else that you were looking at in the early 80s, that this suddenly became, whoa, you've got to see that Michael Jackson Thriller video. It's incredible, you know. And like I say, it transformed Britain, gave us Halloween as a more public holiday, if you like, and it remains a staple worldwide for Halloween, this track. And it's arguably Jackson's most iconic track as well,
apart from another one that's on about 2 songs later. But what I love about it as well is it's mainly run by the bass and the synth bass on it. It's very sparse in the fact of you've got the synthesizers holding the chords, and then you've got the bits in the background. You've got these little bits of horns coming in, and you've got these sort of glissimo effects and stuff. But it's really sparse, and it's mainly the that's running the rhythm, isn't it? And then you've got the sort of just bits dropping in and out. And I mean, the chorus is obviously, he's vocal on the choruses where it says Thriller Night, and it's amazing the way he just and hits those, and that horn section with all those punches and stabs just absolutely tie that together. I mean, the arrangement. I mean, the arrangement on it is amazing. Apparently, Ben was the first number 1 he ever had. But in the UK, it was One Day in Your Life in 1981. Apparently.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, anyway, so it was just like I say, it's so sparse. In a weird way, it's an audio horror movie. The way it just takes its time to get to you and make you jump and stuff like that. And you know, you hear the door slam and the door slams. I just love that sort of. He's almost doing a tongue-in-cheek thing there as well, isn't it? Like, it's sort of like, I'll play along with this for a little bit, and that's what I think is such a strong song. It's an amazing track. Like, you know, it's almost like every Christmas in the UK we have the same songs come out every year, and if you didn't hear them, you'd be annoyed, and when you do hear them 500 times, you're annoyed. you can't, but you can't live with it. You can't live without it. And Thriller's the same. You can't have Halloween without playing Thriller at least once, or Ghostbusters by Ray Parker Jr. Like, it's one of those things where you've got to do it, as it's not right.
It's not Halloween.
And if you didn't do it, you'd feel weird for the rest of the year. But it's fantastic. Let us know in the comments what you think of this song. We'd love to know your opinion on it as well. But I just think it's a brave choice to have come out with a Halloween-based song in 1984 like that. That was it'd be like Ed Sheeran writing a song, or Coldplay writing a song about Bonfire Night, or something random to us in the UK. Like, what why are you writing about that? That's a bit strange. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you know what I mean? It's just weird, isn't it? It's just, but the man was a genius. Let's just put it there. He was an absolute genius. Track 5, fantastic song now, with the guitar solo from one of the greatest guitar players of all time. Eddie Van Halen was on this as well. And he didn't even ask for a large payment. Apparently, he's just a music. When musicians are musicians, they just want to play. They don't want money, and that's why they're always broke. But but MJ wrote it because he wanted a rock track on the album. So yeah, we've got Beat It. We're up to Beat It. Again, it's all, you know, it's about conflict and resolution and gang dancing and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I mean, as a rock track, like you were saying at the start, you got these individual singles, and that works as a single. Beat It on its own works as a single as well. They all work as individual singles, and I think they released the right ones. And I think this is, I mean, Beat It's brilliant. What do you think of Beat It?
Yeah, it's a iconic song, isn't it? It's another great track. Didn't Weird Al do a version of it as well?
Eat It, yeah.
Eat It. You've really hit the nail on there when Weird Al's doing copies of your songs. But yeah, this was great. US number 1 for 3 weeks. UK number 3. It's about avoiding violence, which is ironic, really, because the aggression in the music, it's very aggressive rock, and yet you've got this anti-violent message. So it's a little bit of a contradiction there. But yeah, it's just Eddie Van Halen's guitar work. He's always top level. Yeah. And on this, it is top level. It's really, really great. And he's culturally broke racial and genre barriers. It's a global anthem for unity, and 2 Grammys, including Record of the Year. So a really, really good song. what is there that you can say about Beat It that hasn't been said already? You know, it's a great song written by the man himself as well. So which is a rarity on this album. He didn't write too many of the tracks on it, but he did write this one.
Yeah.
Really good song. Really good. I like it.
I think what's great as well is if you've never heard Eddie Van Halen play before, you could play that, 8-bar, 12-bar break, and you would know exactly what a great player he was. He starts at that dive bomb, whammy bar work, and then goes into I always call it whittling, and then whittle, and then he ends it perfectly. Like it literally goes straight into the verse, like spot on, amazing. I like Jackson's the way he's backing his own vocals as well, and he sings "Beat It" and he sings "Beat It" again himself, and you've got him almost. To me, that double vocal of him in the chorus is him talking to himself. It's the the good and the bad talking to each other, if you know what I mean. Like it's sort of the devil and the angel. Yeah. And that, to me, that vocal part does that, where he's basically having a conflict with himself about which road I'll walk down and what choices am I making. And that's why I think that's so good as well. I just, he wanted a rock track and he definitely got one. It's a brilliant rock song.
Great bass line as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Fantastic. Really, I just think that's a fantastic track. Yeah. It's hard to talk about this album because every track on this, like you were saying at the start, it's just brilliant. It's not like you go, here's a really good song, and now we've got a couple of songs that are okay, and then we get to another. Because every one we're going to talk about now, between now and the end, is brilliant.
The reason I found it such a difficult album to review is because there's no link between them.
Yeah,
no link between the tracks, and that's what I'm looking for these days with music. But as I said before, like sometimes you just have to take off your critical head and put on your music loving head. And with your music loving head on, this is great. This is a great album.
Okay. Yeah, again, another brilliant song. Track 6, Billie Jean. Apparently Jackson. Yeah, again, another brilliant. This is going to be a theme of us just saying another brilliant song. Apparently the bass line was in Jackson's head for ages, and he was trying to work it out. And it's about a protagonist that says that it's the father of his child, he performed it at Motown 25, did his amazing moonwalk for the first time, broke boundaries again. Straight away there. I think it was Jeffrey Daniels that showed him the moonwalk from Shalimar. He was the one that invented it and then did it first on Soul Train, I think, or something like that. And then Jackson saw it, was like, teach me that, and then he did it there, and then broke that dance move as well. Yet again, one song groundbreaking. Thriller was groundbreaking as well. I mean, it's interesting as well. You've got the video for Thriller, right? And he's got all this massive budget. And then, talk about the video for a second. And all this money. Then he gets to Billie Jean, and he's got those squares on the floor, and that's all he's got. He's got like the money for 4 squares. Yet again, becomes an iconic video with 4 glowing squares.
Yeah, he didn't need anything else.
No, he didn't need anything else. But this song, because of that video, to me is the one that sounds more like a 70s Jackson than an 80s Jackson.
Right,
When you watch the video, to me, that looks like it's from the 1970s rather than... If you put it next to Thriller, they don't look like they're on the same album in the same genre.
No.
Yeah, I mean, they look completely different. Yeah. But, I mean, the drums on that are absolutely fantastic. Leon Chancellor, I think, played the drums on it. And the way they, they've made the snap on the snare, it just absolutely, and the or the who's on it as well with those vocals. And like I was saying earlier about my mate was talking about the sort of vamping that Jackson does. Yeah, to me, this is where this really, really starts. I think it was this track where you really get a lot of that and that sort of the way he's doing it. And okay, I've waffled for you. What's your opinion? I just think it's brilliant.
Billie Jean is my favourite Michael Jackson song.
Nice.
It's iconic. It's just fantastic. And that Motown 25 where he moonwalks for the very first time, it was one of those jaw-dropping things. That whole performance from Michael Jackson on that show was a different level of entertainment than I'd ever experienced before. His ability to control a crowd is second to none. Now, I had the privilege of watching him live at Wembley for the Dangerous tour.
No way, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the real strange thing is that my wife was there on the same day as well. We both were at the same concert, and obviously a long time before we met each other. But yeah, so we were both at the same concert on the same day, and we're both blown away by Michael Jackson. But his ability to control a crowd. I remember at the beginning, he'd come popping up through the stage. He landed and stood still for 5 minutes. He didn't move a muscle for 5 minutes, and the crowd were going mad. And then he moved his finger, and it all went off again. And he didn't move. You know, he literally moved the finger, and Wembley was rattling. You know, and it was just it's incredible. But that level of performance was shown in Motown 25, particularly in this Billie Jean with the hat and all that malarkey. His work with props and all that sort of stuff. Now, this was #1 worldwide, this track. It was 7 weeks in the US, and it hit #1 in the UK. I was hoping that it was the first one of these tracks that had done that in the UK, because that would be great if that was the first Jackson #1 over here. But yeah, it's about deception and obsession. The child and all that sort of stuff, this imagery of this woman pursuing him, saying that this is your kid, and he's like, no, not mine. You know, and it's really good. But yeah, you were saying about the bass line, had been in his head for a long time. Apparently he came up with the bass line while he was driving. He was on a car ride, and he narrowly avoided being hit because he was so engrossed in his bass line. Now, culturally, what a track! You know, this really did change everything. This song, and particularly like it broke MTV. Yep. You know, he was the first black artist to go into heavy rotation on MTV with this song. This was everywhere. The moonwalk, everybody was doing the moonwalk. He won 2 Grammys with this track, and it became one of the most defining songs of the 80s. Yeah. In the last couple of years, I came to know Chris Cornell's live cover of it.
All right.
And he does it literally on his own with an acoustic guitar. And I didn't think that would be possible. You know, this song that's so heavily bass driven, that's so lively, one voice and an acoustic guitar, and Chris Cornell absolutely smashes it.
Okay, we'll put a link to that on the bottom.
He absolutely smashes it, and it's a really, really interesting take on an iconic song. As I said before, this is my favourite Michael Jackson song of all the times. It's just so good. I love Billie Jean. And the video, although simple, it's very, very effective.
But yet again, the track is really sparse. When you think about it, you've got the drums, you've got the hoo-hoos, and then you've got the bass line. And that's really all you've got until the chorus, maybe, when he backs himself. And it's no different to Thriller, really, where it's so sparse. It's not like when we talk about the next track in a minute, it's completely different. But this is another really sparse song. And I think the power of Jackson is the sparseness and his voice, especially in this track. I think this is when he's really on fire. You know, he's phenomenal in it. Brilliant song. Let us know in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not like it? We'd love to know as well, because some people might not like it because it's so popular. You know, some people.
Yeah.
You know, in the 80s, you heard it everywhere. Did it get overplayed for you? If you're an older listener, did you think, I was just fed up with that song? I've heard it so many times.
Leave it alone.
I can't take it anymore. We'd love to know that as well. So let us know in the comments. We're up to a track now, number 7, written by Steve Porcaro from Toto, and the lyricist John Bettis. Yet again, Toto are involved, so it's going to be good. Funny enough, I was watching them live last night in Japan. They're doing George Porgy, fantastic song. So we're up to Human Nature. And like I was saying about Billie Jean, really sparse. This has got a lot of synthesizers on it, a lot of production on it, soft textures, layers, the background. His voice is beautiful as well. And it gives, you know, tracks like Beat It and Billie Jean almost like a balance. It's almost like, we can chill now. It's fine. We're going to be relaxing a little bit. And he essentially, this album now relaxes to the end pretty much. But yeah, it's a completely different song, like I was saying, because you got a lot of layers in there, a lot of synth work in there, which is beautifully done as well. You know, I've always said the 80s is its own world because of the synthesizers and drum machines. You wouldn't get that in any other genre. You know, when they were trying to make instruments to sound like a real instrument and couldn't do it, they made the best sounds in the world. You know, the 80s sounds are wonderful. We'll talk about that one day. What's the best decade? But we're there for months.
We'll never agree.
You will never agree, no. But I just think, it was recorded in 82. Yeah. What do you think of this song?
Human Nature. So in the UK, it didn't do particularly well as a single. I don't even think it made the top 40. 62. Yeah, 62. And number 7 in the US. So it was really underrated. But for me, it's one of my favourites.
Yeah.
You know, of all of Michael Jackson's catalogue, Human Nature is way up there in those. I mean, again, it's another one that I've seen him perform live, and live it takes on another level. Really, 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 really good song. His vocal ad limit in there is superb. You know, the oh why's and all that.
Yeah.
It's just really, really good. It's such a nice vocal performance, really clean. The contrast to Baby Be Mine, really. You know, it's polished. It's a really beautifully sung song, and obviously with the Toto influence there, the music's never going to be wrong, is it? You know, so it's a soft reflection on empathy and a connection in empathy and connection in the modern world. Apparently inspired by Picara's daughter. An innocent question about human behaviour. So it's been covered and sampled by a number of artists. SWV,
that was the big one, wasn't it?
Did a version of it. Miles Davis did a version. Very introspective. It's low key one of his best songs, I think.
Yeah.
Really
what I think as well is you've got, like, you can sing to all these Michael Jackson songs, right? Every single one. This is the one I think that is the real sing-along song, in the fact of you've got lots of different harmonies going on. You've got lots of different backing vocals, like why da 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 da, all that sort of stuff. You can sing to that bit if you want. You can sing to the main vocal. There's a lot going on that you can sing along to in this. And to me, this is the one where, like I said earlier, it sounds beautiful. It really sounds beautiful. But you could sing to bits of, you can have favorite bits of this song, and they'll all be just as strong as the rest of it. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of, you pick the bit you want to sing to, and it'll still be brilliant, if that makes any sense. And I think that's why I think this song is really special. You know, I mean, having Toto on board will make your song better. But I mean, I bet Steve Picaro's like this when he got found out it was on that album.
No doubt.
You know, I mean, he's probably bought 10 houses with the money because it would have made a fortune on it. But Jackson does a great job of transcribing his song, in my opinion. I think, it's, Jackson obviously would have put his input in, but you know what I mean? If it's someone else's song, then you wouldn't know he didn't write this one. That's how well I think he does this song. It's brilliant.
Yeah. Well, live again, he was he used to put pauses in places where they're not on the recorded version.
Right.
So he'd do the reaching out, and then everything would just stop.
Right.
And he'd stand, and the crowd would go mad again. You know, and it's one of those where he's really using his showmanship to bring the song together. But his vocal performance live never struggled because of his performance. Now, I think it's common knowledge that Jackson used backing tracks and all that, and when he was performing live, because it was so high energy live. But this particular track, I'm not sure that he did. I think he actually performed this live and sung it live, because it wasn't an energetic song performance, and it wasn't an energetic stage performance. So I believe he actually did do this as a live track. It wasn't one where he was dancing around like a lunatic and needed time to catch his breath and whatnot. But yeah, I think seeing it live did really elevate it for me and put it up there as one of the best songs that Michael Jackson ever did. And yeah, it's great. It really is.
It's wonderful, isn't it? Okay, we're up to the abbreviated song P.Y.T, Pretty Young Thing, written by Quincy Jones and James Ingram. And apparently the backing vocals had Latoya and Janet on it as well. His sisters doing some backup vocals on it as well. An interesting track to put towards the end of the album. I honestly thought this would have been at the start because it's such high energy. I know I said we were relaxing a little bit, but it's still quite a high energy song. And I like he's talking at the start as well, that dun, 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 or that when he starts talking in there as well. And it's just where do you come from? Oh, that sort of stuff. Yeah, like real sort of conversational singing on this one. It starts. It wasn't sort of until he gets to the chorus or a little bit later, then he really starts singing. And it's got that weird part where he goes do 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 do. That's almost harking back to the rock again, almost as well. And yeah, what do you think? I want to get your opinion first as well.
So I had a bit of a Mandela effect on this one. I really did think it was on Off the Wall.
Yeah.
Because it's so similar to that style that he was doing during Off the Wall, that this would have slotted straight into that album really, really well.
Yeah.
And I actually thought it was on that album. It wasn't until we discussed it when we were talking about doing Thriller that it came to light that it's on Thriller. And I was quite shocked to find that out. So I like it. I think it's good. I think it should have been earlier in the album. But if you are going to put it at the end, then maybe it should have been the very last track on the album. It's a great vocal performance. The call and response on there is really good. And that was improvised in the studio. That wasn't written. That was all done as let's crack that out. But yeah, funk pop. It's a staple, isn't it, really, these days? It's P.Y.T. It's influenced so many different artists over the years, particularly in the R&B and hip-hop genres. It's flirtatious, it's joyful, there's all sorts of things. I mean, obviously it was written in a different time to now. I'm not sure you get away with that these days. I don't know. Given the connotations that now go with Michael Jackson, I'm not sure how it would be taken if it was a new song released today, where it would be. But a song from the 80s, it's a fantastic track.
I love the call and response.
Yeah, I do. I really like
the call and response is really, really strong in it.
Yeah, it's it's a good song, but I kind of feel like after Human Nature, this album probably could have ended. Really. You said earlier on that there are no B-sides. I beg to differ on that, and we'll come to that. And I'm sure if you're very familiar with this album that you'll know exactly what I mean, because there's not much more left after P.Y.T. And it isn't P.Y.T. I think P.Y.T. has got a place on this album, more of a place on Off the Wall, but that's by the by. It's okay. It's okay. It's kind of, like you said, it's sort of flattening out towards the end, this album. It sort of peaks, stays, and really quickly drops off for me at the end. Really quickly. Did we talk about how many songs he recorded for this album?
No, we didn't.
No, so he recorded over 30 tracks with Quincy for this album. And only 9 of them made the cut. So
there was one called She's Trouble. That was one that got close, and The Toy became close as well.
Okay.
There's a song called Hot Street, I think it was. But that was placed by Baby Be Mine. So yeah, there was a few that was close but didn't make the final mix. Yeah.
I don't know. I'd still think that P.Y.T. maybe would have had a better impact on Off the Wall. I don't really feel like it fits this album so much.
Is it too disco for you?
Maybe a little bit. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is.
It's too dancey, is it? It's not 80s pop. It's disco, 70s disco for you. Is that what it is?
Late 70s disco. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think you've nailed it there.
That's fair enough. That's okay. Right. We're on to the last track already. Another Rod Templeton composition, a love ballad. if this is your first time watching me and Andy, we always say if there's a track that shouldn't be on an album, or if we're not sure about a song, we will say. And for me, this song is okay. I don't think it should have been on there. I think like we should, like you said, we should have ended with P.Y.T. or replaced it with something else. I think it's okay. Like we were saying earlier, it was a deep track again for me. I listened to it, I enjoyed it, but to me, this is the track that would tie this album to the 1980s, because it sounds like the most 1980s song on the entire album to me, if that makes any sense. But I think you could give someone Thriller without this song and say, when was this album released? And you would struggle. You'd say 70s, 80s, could have even been 90s. But I think the minute you hear The Lady in My Life, you're then tied to the 1980s. I think it's an, like, you know, I've not got much to say about it. Like, Rod Templeton is a brilliant songwriter, there's no doubt about that, and the lyrics are brilliant. It's slow and romantic, so you're ending the album quite slowly, which I think if it was Lady in My Life then P.Y.T, it might have made more sense, ending on a higher energy song than a ballad. It's a nice way, well, it's a nice way to end an album, but it's also a sort of, it cools it down too much for me. It should have been a bit faster then, in my opinion. Let us know in the comments if you think I'm wrong or right. It's absolutely up to you. You know, feel free to write us up, but just don't be nasty. It's not what it's about. But yeah, I just think it's one of those songs that's okay. What do you think of it, Andy?
Okay, so I've got a couple of things to say about this track. Obviously, Rod Temperton's catalogue of songs is exemplary.
Amazing. Amazing.
Yeah. So, when you listed them off earlier, there were tracks there that I'm like, wow, he wrote that as well. Wow.
Yeah, he did.
You know,
he's a wow man.
So that, and then there's this, and I'm not a fan at all. I'll take you back to what I said earlier on. This was my first listen of Thriller as an entirety. I was enjoying myself all the way through, and then this happened and the album ended, and I kind of felt underwhelmed. Fortunately, I've got it on loop, so it went straight back to You Want to Be Starting Something, and that made it better. But yeah, this to me was pretty generic in terms of love songs from the 80s. You know, it could have been anything. Lady in Red, it could have been anything like that. You know what I mean? It's one of those tracks where you sort of like, oh, you're saying nothing new. You know, it's intimate and romantic, I suppose. It wasn't released. It's a deep cut. They probably should have made it a deeper cut than it was and cut it completely. I'm not a big fan. I understand that it did have a cultural impact. It was covered and sampled by some of the greats. You know, Boyz II Men did it. LL Cool J did it. It influenced a lot of people. But I just feel like, you remember when you went to discos in the 1980s? Yeah. And when they wanted to kick you out, it's like right down to the last song, so you got your slow dance song and all that malarkey, and then they'd play Hi Ho Silver Lining, and off you'd go home or something. You know?
Great days.
Happy days. But this to me, sort of like, it was sort of so almost predictable. You know, I'm finishing the album. Here's your slow song. Have your little smooch. Off you go. You know, and it's kind of that says everything that you need to know about 80s music, really. Yeah. You know, if you're going to go to a disco, this is what you're going to get at the end of the night, and off you go. And that to me was a little bit disappointing from Michael on this album. To end it this way was disappointing to me. You know, given everything that's gone before, 7 singles off there, 7 hits on there, the deep cut. Baby Be Mine, which is just great. Yeah. And then it kind of let itself down for me with this one. It's not at the same level as the rest of the album. And I was disappointed. Because I was really, when I saw the title and I thought, I don't recognise this, and I'd heard Baby Be Mine, I'm thinking, wow, I'm going to get another deep cut here. You know, this is the reason why this album is so highly regarded. It's got 2 songs on it that are just that you don't know, and then they're going to blow you away, and it didn't. And I was disappointed. So yeah, not a great deal to say about it. I'm sorry to any Lady in My Life fans who love this and it's their favourite song, but it wasn't really for me.
That's fair enough. Let us know in the comments. Do you like it? Do you not like it? We'd love to know your comments on this. Andy, okay, so that's all the tracks done. On the top 100 albums of all time, where would you put this album?
Do you know what? I really got to start writing down where I put songs, put albums. Sorry.
He's really thinking about it. Look, he's really thinking about it. Yeah.
It really is a tough one because, as I said before, there's no substance to it. You know, it's a pop album. It's songs, but they're bloody good songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a bloody good pop album. Arguably the best pop album ever. Which then leaves me in a bit of a dilemma as to where do I put it? Because if I'm talking from a musical point of view, for what I like and all that sort of thing, and I am a Jackson fan, I've said that time and time again, but I wouldn't put it particularly high.
Right, okay.
In my top 100. But if you're looking at it as what it is, the inspiration, the influence that it's had on music, the way it dominated the charts in the 80s, the way it's, you know, the songs have gone on and on.
Yeah.
They're timeless tracks, really, for the most part. The amount of awards that it won, the amount of records that it sold, then in terms of the top 100 albums of all time, it's got to be high.
Okay, so where you put
it? I don't know, because am I doing it from a personal point of view, or am I doing it as a...
That's for you to decide. Right, so you're doing top 20 then. Narrow it down a bit, top 20. Where would you put it in the top 20?
In the top 20, if I was right, in top 20 albums of all time, in terms of what they give to the world, I think it'd probably be about 15.
Okay, 15, so you're going with 15?
No, because for me personally, I would put it around about 55.
Wow, I thought you was going to go the other way.
No, because I personally think that I have enjoyed a lot more albums. I think if you was to break this down as singles, there's a lot of singles on there that would feature very high in my top 100 songs of all time. But as an album, it doesn't have the substance for me.
Right, okay.
You know, it hasn't got the substance, and I can't look past that.
Okay, well, I'm going to put it at number 14. I'm going to go 14, I think.
I think it's fair.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments, where would you put this album in the top 100 albums of all times? All the Jackson fans are going to one, obviously, but
yeah, of course.
Let us know where you would put it. We'd love to know in the comments. And it's, as ever, it's been amazing chatting about this. If you've never seen this before, I'm Robbie. This is Andy. This is Chatting Tracks, a music channel where we deep dive into albums, and we've got all sorts of stuff on our channel on TikTok and all the other places where you find social media. If you could subscribe and follow, that'd be absolutely amazing, because we love your support. If there's an album you think we should listen to, let us know in the comments as well. We love suggestions as well. And you know, this is a freeway conversation. Get involved. Let us know in the comments what you think of what we've said. Do you like what we're doing? Do you not like it? Do you agree with our assessments? Do you not agree? Let us know. We'd love to know as well. And it's been brilliant. Thank you for watching this or listening to this, and I guess we'll see you in the next one. Love and peace.
Yeah. Thank you.